Hey, so today I'm going to swap my thermostat on my 1999 Nissan Altima. This is the engine. There are two hoses here, one hose here, one hose there. The thermostat lives right here after this hose, and there are three bolts holding it to the engine, and there's some RTV paste, which you can see. That's used as a sealant or a gasket. It's like gray silver RTV that connects these two pieces. And so detach hose, unscrew three bolts, pull out old thermostat, put in new thermostat, reconnect the system, make sure there's no air. That's about it. You'll need a new thermostat. I got this at the Nissan dealer for $28. 5/16 socket because I have an aftermarket hose clamp, and a 10mm socket for the thermostat housing piece. You'll need some RTV. I got this from Amazon, links down below. And you'll need a bucket to capture any coolant that spills, because it's toxic, so it should be able to fit under your car. If it does, then you're good to go. You'll also need some coolant. Mine is on the way. I also have some distilled water for now because it's pretty warm, but I don't recommend you keep it. I'm swapping my coolant anyway, but if you just have a bottle of coolant, you're good to go. Right now, I'm waiting for the coolant to drain into the tray below. You do not want to continue doing this until all of the top coolant is down there. And there's probably going to be more coolant coming out when I take this piece off. So I'm going to drain the little tray into a bucket. And obviously you should probably have some empty plastic cans to recycle this stuff. 10mm socket time. So there's just three bolts right here. Okay, so now that the bolts are backed out, the only thing that this is held by is the RTV. So I'm gonna give it a few whacks with a rubber mallet so it comes off. All right, so after a good whack or two with a hammer, this thing came off. This is the thermostat housing right here. That's what the hose was connected to. These are the three bolts that held it in place, and you can see there's like a little bit of residue of our TV. And over here is our thermostat with a whole bunch more of our TV right here. It's like an O-ring made out of our TV, literally. Alrighty. So what we're going to do is we're going to remember the direction the thermostat is facing, and we're going to pull this guy out. All this old RTV needs to be cleaned up, obviously. As you can see, there's so much RTV on here, it made a little RTV gasket right there. That's where the thermostat lived. And here's the old thermostat. Let's see if it's genuine or aftermarket. Nissan. Interesting. So for some reason this was not letting my car heat up during the cold. We'll figure out why. Alright, so you can see all the RTV I've picked out of this groove. This surface needs to be cleaned of RTV. And then generally all this needs to be cleaned, and the same thing needs to happen on the other side where the motor is. Now, all these components are factory polished, one side and the other, so it's a really bad idea to use anything unless you have a nice metal polisher, and just try to get rid of this gack as much as possible before applying the new RTV. Now, here are the two thermostats. This is the new factory thermostat. It looks just a tad different from the old one. However, there are really important indicators here. It says 76.5 Celsius and top. So that's the old one. And the new one also says 76.5 Celsius and top. That's going to be towards the sky when you install this thermostat. This is the RTV compound. It's for water pumps and thermostat housing. New thermostat. So we're gonna do a fitment test. All right, looks pretty good. And now it's gonna be time for RTV. I need to squeeze some like this. Now, basically with the RTV, what you want to do is hand tighten this as per their instructions and then let it dry for about an hour before you torque it down. So this is exactly what we're going to do here, is hand tighten and then let it dry for about an hour after that, and then torque it down. All right, so now we're gonna stick the thermostat top up in here into the car side. Okay. And then, in order to figure out which side to stick this on, this goes down to the ground with this label. So now we're sticking this on that. And I'm gonna get some bolts and hand tighten this. And I'm just going to take the 10mm extension so I don't have to go crazy. All right, so I got my coolant today. I'm going to be putting it in tomorrow because the RTV needs to dry and cure for 24 hours. And here's some distilled water for the coolant flush. Awesome. All right, so while I'm waiting for the stuff to cure, I'm going to find out how much coolant I've lost, because it's very important to put it away and recycle it. Whoa, this funnel is crazy. And I have another tray with coolant. Let's see how much that is. So that's almost a quarter of a gallon. All right, cool. I'll need to clean this up. But otherwise, yes, recycle this stuff. Never just pour it out. It's toxic, poisonous, and animals can eat it. It's been 1 hour since I've applied the paste. And so what I'm going to do now is tighten this, since the RTV is now kind of rubberized. Alrighty, this is good to go. This RTV is still RTVing as a compound, and this will need to dry for about 24 hours or so, and then I could put coolant through it. So meanwhile, I'm just going to reconnect the harness right here that was in my way. There's sensors here. These are the push pin type connectors. There we go. Click. And just one more right down here. I'm gonna take my hose out. This is my hose. That's the 5/16 aftermarket hose clamp right here. This got cleaned off, so the hose has no problems going in. All that oxidation is away. And in essence, after this, the car will be put back together. This electrical connector, this guy, and this guy, and this guy are back on. Everything's ready to sit here for a little bit, and then afterwards, I'll catch up tomorrow, and we'll see how we do with the new coolant.